I don't know.
Okay, Madam Mayor, we are up and running. Let me double check. I know these are on. Now, Rob. That should get you. Mayor Palmer, may I have some copies of those for the record, please?
Gwendolyn, do you have extra copies?
I need them for our records.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Dixie, there's more.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I'll need one too. Okay, are we live?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
We're live. Okay. Okay, who's going to say the prayer tonight? Hands up, who's going to say the prayer? Anybody want to volunteer? Jonathan's going to say the prayer. Okay, Jonathan, come forward. Yes, please. Say the pledge and the prayer.
We'll pray first. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for everything you do for us, especially the small things we don't think about. God, we ask for wisdom. We ask for you to point us in the right direction. Lord, make your will very apparent so that we can follow it. Bless all these people, their families, and all the staff and everyone at Willow Park. In your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to do the Texas flag?
Yes.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Okay. All this paperwork now. All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. I'm so excited to be kicking off this important process for our city. The committee is made up of a very diverse group ranging in age and experience. I appreciate everyone serving, and I am confident you will all put in the time and the homework necessary to make this process as successful as possible. Again, I am proud that this committee offers such a diverse group. All right, so what we're going to do, I would like to see this first meeting last about an hour, believe it or not. And I have called a lot of different mayors and gotten advice, get lots of advice. And pretty much what I got from the different mayors is don't drag this out a year. Just kind of do a meeting. If we do one every 2 or 3 weeks, then we can wrap it up pretty quick. We can have about 7 or 8 meetings total, and that way we can present it to the council, and then next we'll go to the polls. So what I want to do next is actually have everyone on the council stand up and take about 2 or 3 minutes to introduce yourselves to each other, please. Carol, you get to start.
Do you want me to go up there or stay here?
Turn around, speak loud. You're good. You don't have to come up.
I'm Gerald Bookner. Nice to meet everybody. I live over on Foxton. Been here about going on 12 years. I work for Lockheed Martin here in Fort Worth. I'm the chief of staff for the engineering organization of about 11,000 people. And my responsibility is managing about an $80 million budget, capital, independent research and development, as well as leadership training and training of our technical staff, amongst a lot of other things, firefighting, quality, and everything like that. So I don't do that alone, I do that with a team, a fairly large team. I'm married, have 2 grown daughters. One's a nurse down in Fort Worth here. She's one of the supervisors or managers of the emergency room. My other daughter's in San Antonio. Primarily, I wanted to get involved with this process because I've done a lot of research around the differences between, kind of what the current state government is, as well as what the home rule is. It interested me, and I wanted to have a positive impact, hopefully, for the city and everybody, that's involved in this process, but also part of the city. I'm hoping that we can have a positive impact and really set things up in a way that helps the city be successful moving forward. Thank you.
Tell me your name one more time, sir.
Daryl.
Daryl. Okay.
Thank you.
You're up, Ryan.
Are we going this way? Hey guys, Ryan Von Hatten. Over here. Live over here on Ranch House Road. My wife, I'm fairly new to Toledo, about 6 years with Annetta. Then we moved over there. My wife grew up here, so she got me out this way for February. I'm a lawyer. That's what I do for a living. I actually have a couple of jobs, fractional GC and in-house counsel. So I do a lot of drafting. That stuff comes fairly easy. Wanted to get involved. Basically, my wife said that I should participate in this, right? So there you go. Here I am. I've got like my own little preconceived notions about how I see this going. It doesn't. I don't know. I think it can be pretty straight. I like what you said. I think it can be pretty straightforward as long as we don't make it not that. And I think we're all kind of in control of that. Read over the City of Justin's charter, I guess, in the posting. I guess it kind of sounded like we have an interest in modeling ours, kind of similar there. So been doing some research. Seems pretty straightforward. I think I think it's going to be a fun process to participate in. I'm very accessible. Happy to give everybody my cell phone number or whatever, and I look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you. Michael?
Mark Chandler, Kingswood Road. Good to have the city. I'm retired. Barbecue business.
You're on planning and zoning.
I am.
You're on planning and zoning.
That too. Yes.
Jonathan, you're up.
My name's Jonathan Stickland, live on San Bass Road. Right now here, we moved out here in 2020 and love it. Refugee from Tarrant County and represented Hurst, Bedford, North Arlington, and Grand Prairie in the Texas legislature for 8 years. I was the second youngest member of the legislature and the first ever with a GED, which is kind of interesting. So right now I own a pest control company for the pest control, so if you got bugs, call me. And that has a lot to do with politics, so
There you
same
go.
jurisdiction. So I've seen this play out. I'm the only member of the legislature who's on county affairs for 8 years, dealing with local government codes and whatnot, so I know quite a bit here. It can be very smooth. I've also seen it go off the rails, and I'm really hoping, and I told my wife I don't think it will, so let's not let her down.
Thank you. David?
My name is Dave Lorenzo, and my wife and I live on San Bass Road, right behind the churches. Behind the two churches and this house right behind. Been here since 1992. We have two children, they're grown. One's in Utah, the other one's in Boston, so we do a lot of traveling. See, I really would like to see this go smoothly. I think that's a great thing. And keep working because you're paying for my retirement. I retired from hockey for 34 years. Keep going. And so after I retired, I started a business. I took care of seniors around Tarrant and Parker County for about 12 years. And then I retired from that. And I work for my wife. And we own a translating and interpreting company. We deal with about 250 different languages. We do translating, interpreting, assessments, all that kind of stuff. So I don't think I'm ever going to retire. One thing I noticed when I looked across kind of the landscape of what other cities have done, it almost seemed like the biggest challenge they had was getting the word out to the populace and making sure they understood what was happening as they went along. Because some of them stubbed their toes and they ended up going multiple years and multiple votes until it finally passed. So I don't know if that's part of our committee's job to be communicating, but my guess is it probably is. And it's going to, I think, be a key element to making this successful.
Thank you. Mary?
Hello, my name is Mary Diedrich. I live off of Ranch House Road. I have about 20 years of public relations. I was a dual agent for about 5 years. I recently stepped away. And I also have a background in film production. So I got inspired to get involved because I feel like there's a lot of change that's happening within our city. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And I love Parker County. And I just want to make sure that we continue to move forward and take care of our city. And there's nothing wrong with growth as long as it's the right. So anyhow, so it's me.
Hi, my name is Tammy. I'm a retired special ed teacher. I taught for 25 years, but was in the district for 31. Currently, I do contract work with Texas Workforce Commission, and I help individuals get jobs that have special needs. I'm really excited to be a part of this committee. I love Willow Park. In October, it'll be 5 years that we've lived here. And I just want to see all the right things happen, great communication and transparency, and just make sure that everybody's informed.
Thanks, Tammy. Gwendolyn?
Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Gowdy. I just turned 21. My family moved here when I was around 10 or 11. And I'm an Eagle Scout. I was elected first female lodge chief for this scouting territory back in 2022. And I have a very deep commitment and volunteering with that organization. I'm the daughter of a former city councilwoman, and my family has a lot of roots here, and I don't see myself moving away anytime soon, so I'm very excited to help our community continue to grow and prosper and serve the needs of everyone who lives here. So.
Thank you. Jean?
Hi, I'm Gene Martin.
Hello, Jane.
My only primary residence has been 700 Kingsgate for the last 38 years. I was on the council 14 years over a 27-year period, which is a little odd. It gives me a different perspective on the history of Little Park. In fact, I was on a prior home rule charter committee in 2009 when we came up with the draft thing. State law has moved on a little bit since then, so there's certain, we might look at that as a starting point, but I'm not saying that that's where we ought to be. I mean, I've already gotten feedback from a couple of guys here. They've already looked at, I don't know how many different home rule charters. And if everybody on this committee is as proactive as a couple of people have indicated, we ought to be done in a month.
I'm assuming he is right. That's right.
And I'm retired from Lockheed, I was out there 34 years myself, but then I didn't kill you if I told you that all.
Keep looking. Keep that pension.
Name's Charlie Hodges. The 4 years of my life as a news person. Started working in Texas and Parker County, covering Weatherford City government, Springtown City government, and other city operations along with school and county government. Went on and worked government operations in Virginia and Minnesota before coming back and spending 20 years at KRLD Radio. After getting out of the news business, I started a PR firm that I continue to operate off and on. For the last 3 years, I've been the president of the HOA that I live in, Stagecoach Estates. In fact, I'm missing a board meeting tonight to be here. That's how seriously I'm taking this. I do have a lot of PR experience. In fact, last year we had to do major pool renovations at in our neighborhood, and we raised our annual dues by $300 a year. And as far as communication is concerned, we received absolutely zero negative feedback in the raise of those dues. So I'll help any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'm married, been here since 2020, married, 2 kids, 5 wonderful grandkids, and I also work for the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers.
Dixie?
Hello, everyone. I know most of you. It's nice to see you. I kept telling different people that, and I really wanted to be on this committee. And I started reading about home rule months ago. And I put together this little binder for myself, just as I would find things online. All of the handouts that you have today are just, I'm sharing with you what I have in my binder because I thought they could be helpful for you too. They're all available on the internet. You'll find more as you look too. I just wanted to share my binder with you. And I know that Mayor Palmer wants to promote total transparency, so she wants, all of these handouts will be posted on the city website, so they're accessible to, they would be available via open records too, but it would be very duplicious for the city secretary to have to fill all the open records, so this is much more efficient.
If I may interject real quick, Mayor Palmer and Dixie, if you guys will email me whatever you would like, the item that we have on the homepage of the website, that's the home rule information, I can index everything on that page.
I will do that. Thank you, Rose.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just to get back to introducing myself, I've been here in Roanoke Park for 15 years. My husband, we've been married for half a century, give or take 2 months. And I love Willow Park. We both love Willow Park. We loved it the moment we saw it. We're both small town people. I love the small town atmosphere of Willow Park, and I just want to see it. I know we can't stop change. Willow Park is going to grow and change like everywhere. But we just want to maintain control of that growth and not let it turn into a gold rush city or the people that come and develop it and then go off to their next quest, and we're stuck with a city that maybe we didn't like the direction that it took. We just want better control and transparency, and I believe that Willow Park has grown up now. We're beyond 5,000 people waiting on it. It's time for us to move to a home rule charter. And no matter what camp, no matter where you pitch your tent, we can all work together. We don't have to be antagonistic to one another. We can work together because we really all want the same thing. And so I hope we can reach that point. So I'm here to help and do what I can. And whether or not I had been on this commission, I would have been dropping this, I would have had questions and I would have been sharing my knowledge with you. So I'm just glad to actually be here on this committee and work with you all. I'm honored to be part of such an august group.
Carol?
Hello, I'm Carol Bracken. My husband and I live on Crown Road. We've been here 29 years. I started my Did that for 29 years. And then I moved into higher education. Excuse me. And I spent 12 years at Tarrant County College. And I retired from there last year as the general counsel. As I said, we've been longtime residents of this town. We're very interested in watching it grow from the very small town it was when we first got here to what it is now, what it's becoming. And we're interested in making sure that the development deals with important things like infrastructure. And we feel like, my husband and I both feel like, Willow Park is no longer a small town. It's now almost 9,000 people, and that's not going to stop. And it's time for us to have a form of government that's more appropriate to the size of the city, and that gives the citizens a greater say in what's said and done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that everyone?
I think that's everyone that's going to introduce themselves. What we want to do next.
I just need to confirm attendance for the record. Mr. Gilchrist and Mr. Kerwin are not here this evening, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
thank you.
Did you introduce yourself?
He's from the paper.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I'll introduce myself to you afterwards.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we want to do next is pick a chairperson, and then once y'all have a chairperson, I'm sitting down. So what I want to do is go around and have y'all raise your hands as the person stands up, and then you'll decide who's going to be your chairperson after listening to the introductions. So Michael, stand up. You can face me, that way there's no pressure, look away while they're all voting. So everybody that wants to vote for Michael as chairperson.
You just vote for one person.
Yeah, we're gonna go down the line, one person. Okay.
No, I've got a point of order.
Oh, sorry.
In selecting our chair, would it be more efficient instead of just picking somebody out of picking coin out of the barrel?
Yes?
Of finding out who would like to be a chairman and tell us.
Oh, there you go, that's a good point. Okay, raise your hand, and then, okay, do it that way. How do you wanna do it? If they wanna be chairperson?
Yeah, everybody,
Those who are
you
interested
want to
in
volunteer?
And then if nobody raises their hand.
Everybody, raise your hand that you wanna be a chairperson.
Gwendolyn and Jean does.
Oh, don't you? I didn't raise my hand.
Okay, everybody, don't be shy. Everybody raise your hand that wants to run.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and nominate Gene Martin.
Right?
I second that.
Okay, we have one person.
Wait, Jonathan, you did the nomination, who seconded?
I'll second it.
Okay.
And Gwendolyn, I nominate her to be next because we need two different minds. Young,
So do you want two? You want two different ones and
well,
split
we need
it?
somebody just get Jean Gibbs show up.
A vice chair.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
I call a vote for, we had a motion and second, we've not had a call for a vote on a chair. Can we please have a call on the vote?
Call for a vote.
aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Yeah, right. Okay, do you want to vote for Gwendolyn as,
I'll nominate
Assistant
Gwendolyn
chair?
as the vice chair.
okay, you have a second?
Second. Oh, yes.
Okay. Yes?
Yes.
Any nays? No?
Abstain.
We're good to go? Okay, so I'm going to sit and relax. Jean, you have, right? Like 40 minutes. Hit it. I'm going to go relax.
I have your motion to limit this time.
I'm sorry.
You said you had 40 minutes.
Do we have
I forget what the agenda actually says.
Here, here's a copy.
That'd be great. Let's see, where are we?
There you go.
Okay. Some quick nominations. This is review and adopt rules of conduct. Okay, so we have a fairly large group of people. Typically, we would follow Robert's Rules of Order. Everybody good with Robert's Rules of Order? Anybody not good with Robert's Rules of Order? Okay.
Jean?
I think that,
No, I'm agreeing with him.
good, thanks, Charlie.
What you said is I wouldn't go with Robert's Rules of Order. I put my hand up. Thank you.
I think that we can conduct most of our business with a fair amount of informality. At the point in time where 2, 3 people are trying to talk at once, I guess we'll start to clamp down some, but I look around the room and I see a bunch of really reasonable people. Can't wait to get started on this. Are there any rules of conduct that anybody would like to propose?
Please be on time.
Thank you.
Be punctual. Communication. Okay, again, we have a large group, we have massive amounts of data we're going to have to go through and come up to a consensus on. It will be really helpful if the handouts are all posted online, everybody will have simultaneous and equal access to it, that'll be great. When we have comments that we want to make on any of that material, I would suggest that we can communicate via email by submitting your opinion about something to everybody. I don't think we should engage in conversation about it outside the meetings. You have a question, Charlotte?
I have a point. There are a number of different programs that are available that allows for group messaging that is totally private. One is called Groupon. And a room can be established with everyone in our team, because that's what this committee, it's a team. And if someone has a question about a handout, then they can ask that question and we can all participate immediately. And I do not believe, at this point of order, Mayor and City Secretary, are we subject to open meetings act where we can't talk in a forum?
I think that we probably need to get clarification from our legal firm on
I
that.
think that'd be a good idea.
I'm happy to reach out and get you that information.
That would be great, because then we're talking about, if we're talking about email chains, that's the same thing as a text chain. So if we have, how many people are in this committee?
14.
14, so if we have 7 or more speaking in my name, we're breaking the law.
Well, that's kind of my point.
The handouts include TOMA guidance, so
Right.
everyone read that.
Yes.
Read those.
How many people have actually taken the hour-long video lesson training on Toma? 1, 2, 3. I would suggest that it's the first time I went through it, it was fairly informative. The second and third time, it got less so.
Can someone send a link to us so we can do that?
I do.
If y'all would like to communicate under TOMA regulations, if you communicate in an online forum that's open to the public, that can see all of your communications, I'm pretty sure that that's allowed under TOMA.
We should look into setting that up.
As long as the public can access the same.
Right, yeah, what you said, Charlie, a private communication could lead to different problems, so.
But if we open it up to where people can see our chat but not comment on our chat, at least we're good.
Right, and I guess I'll try to find out if there's a primarily efficient way to do that, and trying to be fiscally responsible, so. Okay? That's all I had on the rules. Does anybody else have anything else? Okay. Adopt a meeting schedule. What's the best, who's good with Tuesday nights?
City council meetings.
Yeah, we got city council, planning and zoning, board adjustments.
Who's good with Monday night football?
I like us much
Okay.
football now.
Who's good with church Wednesday nights? 5, 6.
do Wednesday.
8,
I can do this.
9, 10. We only have 13 here. Anybody really bad on Wednesday nights? Like that answer. We may want to push for Wednesday night. It's the most open night of my week, every week. So, Wednesday nights. 100%? Everybody good?
Are we looking weekly there, Gene?
That's the next question. How frequently do we want to get together? I would suggest maybe next Wednesday would be a good start. The quicker the better to get really started. Okay?
Is there any way we can do it a little bit later, till they fix 20 and 30 merger?
Good
I
point.
mean, what year do you want to start?
I'm fine with the date, I mean, on Wednesday nights, like 7 instead of 6.
7 o'clock good? Who's good with 7? Who would
How long are
prefer
we
6?
Ish.
You want to be here at 6, you'll be early, okay? Everybody good with 7 o'clock next Wednesday night? Do we want to try and do this weekly to get started, or every other week?
I believe we're gonna do it every 2 weeks, start out every 2 weeks, get it next Wednesday. Everybody take a class, get informed about TOMA and everything, and then after that, we can go ahead and make it proceed every 2 weeks. Cause it's gonna take some time for everybody to read all the different charters that are out there, understanding the cities and how they did with the amendments that everybody's done. I just love this way, people. That's.
How many charters have you read?
About 112 or 117.
Okay, anybody else got less than that?
There's 351, so,
Oh, there's more now?
351.
Yeah, it takes some useful league, only 117.
There's well over 1,000 home rule cities in Texas, so
Yes.
it's got a long way.
Yeah, the chairman does.
Question. Do we have to have our meetings attended for the public
We have to publish our agenda for our meetings.
36 hours ahead?
72.
72?
Problem with that?
Nope.
Actually, starting in September 1st, it becomes 3 business days instead of 72 hours. So that might alter the agenda posting schedule slightly.
Still be Friday.
Okay. Just making sure you guys knew that the change was coming on that.
Right. Yeah, well, if we did it on Wednesday, we could, under 72 hours, post it Sunday evening, but I don't know who's going to be up here Sunday evening to do that.
Friday works for us.
Right. Okay. Do we want to put a time limit on the meeting? Like midnight? Well, it'd be a limit.
2 hours?
Well, it also depends on how many people you have show up that want to speak about it and or get more informed because it is open to the public. So we may
Right.
eventually start having more people show up to make it an actual set times than we already do, depending on the amount of people that actually say, I would like to speak.
Actually, on that point, I'd kind of like to get a mechanism where we can get online feedback so people don't have to show up and take time to start a meeting to know what the concerns are anyway.
Yes, sir.
So, we'll
Are
see
we
if we can work that
live
out.
stream?
Well, we're live on Facebook, so if someone's just monitoring that.
Are we live tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're on, Gene.
Right.
Sure, sir.
Jeannie, I think it's a good idea to have the online forum for people, but we're also going to have to accept people who want to come to the meetings. and
Oh,
make
absolutely.
comments.
Yeah, anybody that shows up, fill out a form. And, yeah, we want to be inviting to the whole Willow Park community. we are a Willow Park Home Rule Charter Commission. I'll be honest with you, I'm not particularly interested in hearing the opinion of somebody from Hudson Oaks or Lido. Not that I have anything against those people. They have no vested interest in Willow Park. So my focus will be on the opinions and desires of the Willow Park citizens.
And it's gotta be about the meeting only, you cannot venture off into anything else.
All right. Yeah,
About the Home Rule Charter Commission.
okay.
During the public comment period, are these exchanges or are we just listening like the council was?
Well, okay.
Gene, may I answer that?
By contrast, for the, like the city council, if somebody shows up and asks a question, the council doesn't necessarily have to answer. The mayor has the discretion to provide answers or not. If a question is on policy, you typically should be able to recite the policy. If it is a question of, did this happen, or what is this fact, you should be able to recite the fact. Discussing opinions about things, you need to avoid that. So if there's a hard line between being factual and being opinionated, that's where there might be some grayness. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you were going to say?
Kinda, it's basically like going up and everybody just sitting around the table, we're gonna have Sunday night supper and discuss a specific, item or family member, whatever. But they can make their opinions to an extent that it has to be, like Gene said, factual. If it's not factual, you can interrupt them right there, say, get out here, bye, see you. But other than that, come up there and say, look, is this going to hurt our community? Is it going to help our community? People come up there, they ask them, things like that, get a better idea. They want to understand what's going on versus we don't want to give it in layman's terms, or we want to give it in layman's terms and not, political terms. We want to keep it in the low key. We got everybody needs to understand this in order for us to get this voted in. They got to understand almost 100% what we're doing here and why we're doing it.
Does that mean you bring barbecue for supper in this town?
No.
I heard something.
Okay. Did anyone else have any other questions before we move on? Okay. So we're going to meet next Wednesday, starting every 2 weeks meeting until we make a change on that. Okay? Item 7, assign homework tasks for each member. How many have already looked at some other cities' home rule charter? Most of us. Okay. Darrell, actually, was it Chat AI?
ChatGPT AI.
Yeah, he actually inquired with ChatGPT AI and said, I want to have a home rule charter for Willow Park. And it spit out, what, 3-4 page thing?
Yeah, it's more than that. The full document's like 20 pages.
Was it?
But it's not, each section, it follows, I think, the format, Dixie, that you handed out.
Yes.
And what I did is when I asked it to create a home rule charter, I also asked it to make sure it's aligned with current Texas state laws, pertinent laws. And so it basically spit out a very generic, rough draft of all the things that I had seen looking at other charters like Lido and Azle and Weatherford. I looked at a bunch, you know, local ones. I would be glad to provide that to everyone, just to take a look at, you know, if that would be helpful.
Can we, what do you think, let's do that again, have a second inquiry, and then see what the difference is between
Okay.
answer number one and answer number two.
Sure.
And then we can compare the two, I think that would be very
Okay.
interesting.
I can do that. Take about 3 minutes.
Right.
That's great. And you got it in a Word document?
Yes.
So you can do a comparison on the two and show red lines from one to another?
Right.
That'd be great. I think that'd be a real fun thing for everybody to look at. I can send out a copy of what a prior little park committee came up with in 2009. I mean, that's, a lot of people did a lot of work in there. I have a list of some considerations, I'm just going to read it. And I can send this out to everybody also. Because at our next meeting, I think we ought to maybe address some of the mountain peaks of what we're looking at. What do I mean by that? What type of government do we want? Do we want a city manager, a strong mayor, or a city council, a strong city council? The elected officials, we'll have a mayor, we'll have council members. How many council members? Are they all at large? The whole city votes for everybody? Do we want to cut the city into zones so that we have a representative from different parts? Or do we, the Parker County Hospital District, for example, has 4 members from different major precincts in Parker County and 3 members at large. That's a concept. Do we want to have term limits? Do we want to have a recall mechanism? What are the methods? What are the constraints? Okay. City officers, do we want a manager? We'll have to have a secretary, an attorney, a municipal judge. Do we want to have a prosecutor? Okay. Elections. Will Park say general law city, by general law, the elections are nonpartisan. Do we want to allow partisan or nonpartisan? Okay. Commissions. We have a planning and zoning commission. We could have a planning commission and a zoning commission. We decided to join them. We don't have to have it. Michael Chandler identified City of Liberty Hill. They have an interesting concept of an ethics commission.
No, sir, not them. What was the name of that city, Marcy? That's,
Justin has one.
Pretty sure it was Liberty Hill.
Liberty Hill doesn't, they don't have a formal board of ethics.
Saxy.
Yes, yes, they're the ones that initiated a board of ethics committee.
Right. Which is separate. Can't be involved in a party, can't be an elected official. Totally.
The only thing you can be is on that committee, and you cannot be involved in the city any other way.
Right. They have pretty good power to look into things if there's a complaint. These are the kinds of things that we need to consider. Do we want to incorporate into our own rules going forward? Okay? So I'll send that out. Does anybody have any pet rocks of thoughts that they think ought to be in a home rule charter that I haven't mentioned? Oh, come on, I didn't cover it.
It's not that I have a pet rock about what needs to be included, but from a process perspective, I agree with all those points you made, and that those are exactly the kinds of things that I was seeing in some charters that I looked at. But in my opinion, I really think, look, we could all spend 1,000 hours downloading every different kind of copy of a home rule charter. I don't think that moves the needle. What we need to do is do exactly what you're talking about, which is decide the direction on some of these things. Maybe some people might not be familiar with the pros and cons or upside or downside of some of these different concepts we've talked about. We've got to figure out, A, what the people in this room think we want, B, what do we think the city council is going to be comfortable with, and what we think the citizens will Park want. Because at the end of the day, if they don't vote for it, then the whole thing's, we could write a beautiful charter, and if it's what people don't want or understand, then it's worthless. So I think we have to have a mechanism for trying to figure out or predicting what those things are. Then the drafting part's easy. I mean, we can either, I do this kind of stuff for a living, so, either you find one city's charter that's pretty much 95% of what you need, convert that to Word and get to plan and redlining, and, I mean, that's the easy part. That stuff that you're talking about on your list is really where all the work is. And, if you can find a city charter that is everything that you want, great. I mean, we're done. If you have to copy and paste, we've got to do some drafting or whatever, or if you got some stuff that's like, yeah, we don't really need that, we'll pull that back. That's the easy part.
Right, okay, thank you.
I have a couple of obscure things that I would like to discuss at some point, particularly with what we allow the city to participate in with lobbying efforts and whatnot. Down in Austin, some possible restrictions. And I would like to put in some reforms on the way that bonds are presented in the future and described. Some ballot language stuff where I think we've got some.
Bond presentation.
If the city wants to take a bond, do some bond transparency efforts, basically.
Presentation transparency. Okay. No. So you're suggesting that we shouldn't be a member of PML?
That is exactly correct.
Right. Maybe we can get to that at week 4 or 5. Dixie?
One thing, most people who have home rule charters have the initiative, referendum, and recall feature in their charter. And it's not that it's used a great deal, it's really not. It's used very little. But I think that's a definite that should be included.
That's certainly on the list that I just read. And it's in the draft charter that we came up with in 2009. Now, is the version that we have in 2009 better than some versions in other already tried home rule charters for other cities? I don't know the answer to that. Okay. But yeah, I agree.
Sarah, will you send out copies of that 2009 charter so we can all study that before the next meeting, please?
I will do so.
Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, the only reason why that is not already our charter is we just lack the number of citizens that to reach the 5,000 threshold to perform there. Is that right?
To be clear, we convened a charter committee in 2009, and I think we had 11 members on that. I can't recall exactly, and I haven't found the list of those people. It was chaired by Marvin Glasgow, who was actually on the council at that time and later became mayor. We knew that we were not yet at 5,000, but we were optimistically counting the days until we got there. Then in 2016, is that correct, Ms. Gowdy? I believe in 2016 we passed a resolution that verified that we had gone over 5,000. And I had looked forward to maybe having become home rule charter by 2017. Well, that didn't happen, so here we are. You know, the population numbers for Bull Park, I seriously think that the census numbers in 2020 failed to count everybody in Bull Park south of I-20 as being part of Bull Park because they had an Oviedo post office address. Just a suspicion. Okay.
Question. So you have all these various elements of this or that, or potentially options for how do we get to a point where we understand, because I got in my mind, I'm an engineer, and kind of got a spreadsheet and looking at, you know, options and pros and cons and what it is exactly, what does it mean to us? And how do each one of those elements interact with the others? Right?
Well, from an engineering perspective, one way to do it would be to find, say, 10 home rule charters in each of the categories we're interested in, and then do an analysis of which of those cities had the most lawsuits taken against them.
Good.
Okay. That might be time consuming, but
I don't think it has
just
to be,
thinking off the top of my
I don't
head.
think it has to be all that exhaustive. I think we need to all understand what the elements are.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Is going to be up to us to find that all out, or are we going to have somebody brief us on it and talk about it here in the meeting?
Good point. Do we need to invite in experts?
Potentially, you know.
Chairman Martin, may I interject?
Pardon me?
So our advice from our legal counsel that we currently have, at least temporarily, is that an attorney should be present at every single one of these meetings for those very questions. I mean, they're willing to help us out with that.
But the city's, just to be clear, the city's not their client.
Yeah.
But I like the point that you make, and I think, again, going down this list of items, some of those are just so key. Strong mayor, strong council, whatever, they're just, I mean, you have to know this. This thing ain't happening if you don't figure some of this stuff out, right? I like the idea if there's somebody, not everybody's gonna have opinions on what they think that we should have, right? Everybody's got them. So I don't know necessarily that it should be a person who's either interested or is going to do a sell job to try to, you know, to have a narrative that supports their position. Just simply be, this is what this means, right? I don't know who would take for granted that everybody here in the room knows what all these things are. I don't know, but to just explain the pros and cons, right? You know, I don't think there's a lot of secret sauce on how many city council members you have. What are the benefits or the pros and cons of doing, you know, zones, right? Instead of at large. So all these different concepts, just explaining them, and then people can start to gel what they think that we should have. And at some point, I think we're just going to have to kind of come together with a consensus. You can't draft. I think anybody who does any writing, you can't draft until you know what we're doing, right? I mean, the drafting is just the memorialization of the understanding of the agreement. So that part happens. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to have this many city council members, we are not going to have municipal court, we're going to have a lawyer, we're going to have a city manager, and then that just populates the document. Pretty easy. But I personally think it would be helpful if somebody at a preliminary basis could come in and just talk about what these things are. I've got a buddy, you may know, Vinny Giardino, perhaps. He teaches Texas government, he understands this stuff, he doesn't live in this town. I could probably get him to show up at one meeting and just simply explain some of the ins and outs of these things. He's a great speaker.
What's he gonna cost?
Come again?
What's he gonna cost?
I have a feeling he would do it for free.
Barbecue?
Yeah.
I happen to know Vince Giardino. He teaches at TCC.
Yes.
He would be an excellent choice as to come in as a subject matter expert. And
Well,
I'll bet
please know that 3 people here have voluntold him that he's going to have to be here. I actually had him over the house just Sunday. So, he was very excited to participate in this process. So if he can make it work, I don't think he would have a problem coming here and chat.
That being said, he does not represent the city of Willow Park.
Right.
And I know that the city's in kind of an awkward place right now in terms of the city attorney, but I do think that a city attorney needs to be present to give us information potentially about the city. In looking at each of these issues, there may be things that relate to the city that a city attorney would be more knowledgeable about than Vince. I think,
Sure.
he's
Well,
a
it's
great.
somebody who represents the commission, or the city.
And it wouldn't be appropriate to ask Vince to take on that role.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know, Rob could, and he's an elected judge.
Well, if I understand what you're saying, you are simply recommending a person who has expertise
Right,
and
whoever that
knowledge
is.
to come in and share that knowledge with us, and we will thank him, and then we can do whatever we want with that
Absolutely.
knowledge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea to me.
Gene, I believe it's a great idea too. But while we're talking about this, everything inside of me says, how are we going to sell it? We have to sell this to, everything we do has to be sold to the voters, because everyone's not looking at Facebook. So we have to have a way to get our message out in a positive way. And everything that we have, everything that we do has to be upfront and open the whole way. And there's always been something that has bothered me as a reporter when we have a friend of a friend of a friend who comes in and offers advice.
Wait a minute.
No,
No, you used the word that I didn't hear over here. You said advice.
No.
We've been talking about knowledge.
okay, knowledge. Even that, we have to have some sort of, I don't know, I don't care if he takes $50 as a consulting fee, but some sort of a consulting fee to where he shows he's just not coming over here, that we are paying him for his professional time. Because if it's worth getting, it's worth paying for. And I'm not one who likes to spend money just willy-nilly, but if I'm trying to sell this and I say, well, our consultant said, and somebody comes up and says, who's the consultant? Well, he's the friend of a friend. Who works at TCC? Well, if we say, he's our consultant, then that makes it easier to sell. And I am picking that poo out of pepper, I know that, but all this stuff we have to keep in mind, that everything we do is honest, upfront, and we can't have any questions about it. If the man is wonderful at what he does, then let's give him $100 and have him come in, or whatever.
Charlie, I agree with everything you're saying. We will be totally transparent in this exercise. Because, well, if we fail to be transparent, then I won't be here anymore.
Same here.
One thing I think might be helpful is, we haven't added too much to the original list of items we thought to discuss. If maybe you could put together a survey for all of us to kind of indicate things we care about that do need to be decided, numbers, geography, things of that nature. It might be good for everyone to sit down and have to think about, like, where am I going to care? Because if we offer each one of these up one at a time, we're going to find things to talk about, even if none of us really care. So I think a survey might, like, I can tell you there's 2 things I really care about, and the rest I'm kind of like, eh.
Yes. So I have had input from Mike Chandler, which is why I included this ethics concept as a potential thing to talk about under commissions. My whole purpose of bringing this list of things up is I'm going to request that everybody pick out 2 or 3 cities in the 9,000 to 20,000 population range and bring ideas back from their home rule charters. And if you find a concept in one of these charters that is unique, nobody else has mentioned this, bring that to the attention of this commission. Okay? And that symbiosis should help us get to the right answers as we go along. Anytime we find we are converging on consensus on a particular approach for any part of this charter, that should be a public notice out to the city that this is where we are going. Does anybody have any good rationale why we should rethink it? And then we can go from there. Okay? Does that sound like a plan everybody's comfortable with?
Jacob, just answer a couple questions earlier. A lot of the charters that are out there, no matter what size city it is, they all mostly start out with general law. General law, that's what they're in right now. They use that as basically a subtopic or the main topic. They start there and they work themselves from that. They don't actually necessarily use that, but it is like a template. It gives them the idea of how to get their charter going. And one of the best ones I've seen out of all the ones I've read, Gene said it, but it's City of Liberty Hill. Minus a couple things. What I look at is I look at when they first filed their charter, and then I look at what they, every 2 years, what they change, what they found out that, they screwed up on, and they changed it. And when you start going back to charters that have been around 40, 50 years, you start seeing a lot, it'll wake you up. It'll bring you more into perspective what you're looking for and what you're asking about. But I really do believe a lot of the ones, Tarrant County, no offense to anybody, they suck. Now they suck. That's all crap. It really is. It's all about money. Everybody's about money for the city council members. If you look at it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's the City of Liberty Hill did an excellent job of starting theirs out and then fixing it over the last 30 years. They've done a really good job. If you don't know where Liberty Hill is, that's north of Georgetown, north of Boston. So they border a big city and a bunch of growth.
Is that on their website?
I believe it is. Yes, it is. Because that's where I got it from.
Okay, thank you.
Another aspect is through Texas Municipal League, that's a great source for home rule information. And especially in their, I think it's June and August bulletins, they talk about some of the new legislation that's changing home rule now that we need to be aware of. Because these changes won't be reflected in the home rule charters we might be looking at.
You said the newsletter?
Yeah, bulletin.
Yeah, they send it out periodically.
All of those, I have mixed thoughts on TML. City council.
I know some information.
We got a lot of good information going to their conventions, I guess. But I also agree with,
They're a good resource, but I don't think we can sell what they're selling in Willow Park, Texas.
no, they're
funded by the big
exist mostly
cities.
for the large cities in Texas, so. Carol?
One of the, when this was mentioned in a city council meeting, several citizens who were attending the meeting asked questions about the cost, what it will cost for the city to do this conversion from a general law city to a home rule, a general home rule city. It was suggested that because Alito had recently made the conversion, that that was someone we needed to make inquiries there, and some other cities who recently made this switch to get an idea about costs. We can put that information out there to the constituents.
Okay.
Well, as being on the commission, on the charter commission, 9 times out of 10, if you reach out to another charter that's already in place, and you talk to one of their members, one of the city council or anybody, they'll volunteer. They'll love to.
I don't imagine it'll be hard to get the information, but I do think it's important because that was a question that was raised by several people at a couple of meetings.
Public record.
They're not going to want to go dig around it if they're going to want us to tell them.
Yes, ma'am.
Good point. We will try to find that information out, of course. And I think that if we are sharing this committee will be minimal financially.
It's really much more the cost of the election and the necessary publication to everybody, and you're having to send it to everybody who's a registered voter at a house, and cost of the election. That's where the money is, not in,
Well-
not in this group.
Right, and also the attorney, right? If
Yeah.
we have an attorney here, right, on behalf of the city, that's a cost.
That's a cost, but I think it's a cost well worth.
Oh,
the
yeah,
incurred.
yeah.
The cost specifically will be cost of distributing a package of information to a couple thousand homes. And I'll have to look it up, whether it's all homes or the homes of all registered voters.
It's all homes,
It's all-
all homes, every address, city of Willow Park's got a receipt, that's English and Spanish copy. By law, yes, sir, they don't matter if they're all or not, they English and Spanish.
Okay, so, the cost of the election, I suspect that there will be, a little part will participate in the May election, whether we
And
have
there'll be a
a
cost
party
sharing.
ready for it or not.
There'll be a cost sharing there. I mean, I'm assuming there'll be other entities with things on the ballot.
Okay, does anybody have any?
About the election, have we determined whether it's going to be a May election, or are we going to look at a November, or using one of the other election dates that's available from the state?
Well, Charlie, there are only two standard election dates, the first Saturday in May and the first Tuesday in November. We will not possibly be on the first Tuesday of November in 2025. And I strongly would suggest we should be scheduling ourselves to meet the first Saturday in May. Okay. Okay, any questions about expectations to show up prepared for the next meeting on Wednesday next week?
We need to get more organized in there so we can all see each other, be able to talk a lot easier, along with if anybody has any questions, but this right here,
Doesn't work.
this sucks.
So we will have a circular formal meeting.
Can we also have
Figure that out.
a phone and email list sent to everybody so we can contact folks directly?
Anybody, yeah, I have a phone and email list of everybody. I will share that with everybody. I don't plan to post that online. I don't think we should necessarily be individually getting inputs from all citizens.
If it's not legally required,
I don't believe it is.
then, yeah, I don't want my published.
Particularly,
Sorry.
if we can.
I don't answer the phone anyway, ever,
Right.
so.
We can set up a mechanism where inputs can be made to the city online that are shared with this committee. I think that's the way it ought to be.
I get no spam calls.
Okay?
So there was a number of actions. Can we clarify who's doing what before we break up?
Well, everybody is going to be thinking about this list of concepts that I'm going to share.
Okay.
And everybody is going to be looking for 2 or 3 home rule charters that they want to analyze and bring their opinions back to the committee. And that's all I've mentioned.
How about, who's going to follow up on the attorney issue? You know, getting an attorney here? Okay, I just want to make sure.
For those of you
I wanna make sure we-
for those of you in the room who do not know who I am, my name is Rose Hoffman, and I am the Public Information Officer and Communications Director for the city. So you guys have me at your disposal for all of this. Our attorneys offered to be here tonight, and we're told they were not needed this week, so they are on standby whenever we would like to have them. So you guys just let me know when and where, and I will make sure that one of them is in this building. As far as communication among committee members, communication on the website, whatever forms you guys would like, again, I am at your disposal. So y'all just reach out and let me know what you would like and what my directives are, and we will roll from there.
Okay, and I would like to probably have a conversation with our attorney. I don't know that we'll need his services this next meeting even, because we're in the process of getting the stuffing for the sausage
Sure.
together. We're not even making
Well,
sausage
what
yet.
the attorney advised me yesterday when we were speaking about what records need to be kept for tonight is, she said the best way to ensure the success of this commission is to have an attorney in the room from the moment it begins until the moment it goes to the ballot. Because the record keeping, and that's part of why we're live streaming tonight, to make sure that we have a video record of this that backs up my notes. It is incredibly meticulous, and one misstep can change the course of how this goes for you guys. I am not an attorney, full disclosure, I have not been to law school. I am only repeating what our attorney has told me. So their advice, secondhand to y'all, is bring them in as soon as you can. So,
Okay.
just let me know.
Well, again, I don't want to waste their time or.
Yes, sir.
Well, they're not wasting their time, they get paid by the minute. So.
That's
Um,
And they round up.
Yeah, they do. So I just wanted to clarify, Mr. Jean, that you are going to email out that list of the bullet points of like the topics that you output in the outline at the start.
Yes.
You started. Okay. I think it'd be helpful.
And I will send them to you too.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to distribute.
In conjunction with looking at a few charters, I think it'd be equally or perhaps more important on the first go around, first homework, that people take that outline and just do your own research, right? Like, rather than have somebody come in and talk about it, just, straw mayor, wheat mayor, what is that? Go to Google, will answer all of these things for us, and then you formulate your own opinion, and then we can discuss it.
Right. And just because Google tells me something doesn't mean I believe it. No.
Also, remind, hey, Jason, hey, remind everybody, need to take that 1 hour course on Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you have never taken the Open Meeting Act training, please do so. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's part of all being transparent for the citizens of Boulevard. That's the bottom line. Okay. So, I have nothing else.
Do we build an agenda for the next meeting now? Or is everybody comfortable with
I'm looking
what we're gonna do next time?
I'm coming to showing up, just bring your ideas.
All right.
Introduce your ideas.
I will send out a draft agenda also and get feedback, and then we will need to have it published by tomorrow evening.
That's why I was thinking of. Okay.
We do need an agenda.
Tomorrow evening ends at 5 p.m.
Yeah, it's not much time.
Is that right? Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
I hear a motion to adjourn,
Second by
and a second. Anybody object? We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming.
Good job.
See your mind.